It won't surprise you to know that pubs are going out of business. Pubs are special places. When I was growing up in the 90s, we'd go to the pub and we'd just spend all day in the pub, sitting, listening to music, jukeboxes and pints and chats and cigarettes and all the rest of it. And it goes back, obviously it goes back earlier than that. I was talking to someone the other day, had a retirement party at a school near me, and his mother used to send him down the pub to get his dad when supper was ready. So he'd go knock on the door of the pub and they'd open and go, oh, and then call his dad over. That was his dad's living room. And yes, clearly it fed into the patriarchy, right? That he's out socializing after work and she's in looking after the boy and cooking and all of that. But it was a place to come together. And it was a place where it was just everyone, men, I guess, came together to talk. You fast forward to today and the role of the pub has changed. It's changed a lot. If you're interested in free markets, then it's fascinating. Like here in Whitstable, we got loads of pubs. You can go to the Wetherspoons, for example, and you can buy a pint for like £3. Or 50 yards down the road, you go to a lovely bar called the 12 Taps, and you could pay £8 for a pint. Of course, it's a different type of pint, but you get to choose lots of different spots and anyone can choose what they do because you've gone and you've earned your money and you choose how to spend it. Of course, the other option, go to the supermarket and you can get a beer for 70p, 80p a can if you get a multi-pack. We choose how we consume things. And that means the pubs have to evolve. So there's also pubs of the East Kent has a full menu. You can order East Kent food on your food apps delivery things because they're more of a restaurant maybe than they are a pub. We have these options and the pubs can choose to whom they are trying to sell. They can choose how they want to make their money. None of the pubs really are pubs to go and spend all your day in. I don't think those pubs really exist anymore. In that movie, Shaun of the Dead, they spend every night in the Winchester. And then when the zombies are attacking, they want to go to the Winchester and sit it all out. It doesn't end that well for them. But that's what they do of an evening. And I know I'm in my 40s now. I know that young people might do that kind of thing, but they don't. That is not the culture we have anymore. Going to the pub is much more of a special event. People are going to the pub less. People are spending less money out. Cost of living crisis means it's more of an event to go out. It won't surprise you to know that pubs are going out of business. They're struggling. They can't do it. Without that constant regular custom, without people having all the money to spend, without being able to compete with supermarkets, it's really tough. Then you look at what's currently happening. The minimum wage is going up. A lot of bar staff run minimum wage. The business rates are going up. National insurance is going up. And as these things happen, as we're still at the back end of a cost of living crisis and inflation is going to go up again, unemployment's going up again, fewer and fewer people are going to go out. It's difficult for pubs. And the old man pub that used to be everywhere, the old man pub where old men would sit all day, they are all closing. They've all gone. Or if they've not gone, they've turned into something different. We have an old man's pub on Whitstable High Street. It's called the Coach and Horses. And I always used to laugh at it because it was just the most old man pub you can imagine. And it's now a DJ bar. So where have the old men gone? If all their pubs have closed, where have they gone? They're drinking at home. That's not very good for society because men talking is tough. Men aren't very good at talking. And pubs help. The pubs can help with that. Constant exposure to other people and chat. It's not just football. It's not just music. Pubs closing is bad. What can be done? The Chancellor, bless her, she has offered 1p off the tax on a pint of beer. 1p cheaper. Cheers. You've got to sell a lot of pints. Like a lot of pints to make a difference. I know, I'm sure it all adds up. Does it? 100 pints? £1? You've got to sell a lot of pints. Like Wetherspoons, they're closing. Wetherspoons is currently closing more branches than it opens. What are we going to do? We can't change culture. We can't make it 1970s again. We see more and more pubs, a few pubs, that are all non-alcohol. I was reading about a pub that's a board games pub where everyone comes in and drinks non-alcoholic beers and cocktails and, you know, tea and coffee and other drinks that people enjoy. Maybe that's the future. Gen Z aren't drinking so much, and certainly that pub lifestyle is alien to them. And you had COVID as well, which clearly screwed everything for pubs and bars and restaurants. And people haven't returned to the pub since COVID. And if people aren't going to work, if people are still working from home, those city centre pubs, no one goes to them because everyone's at home. And I don't think there's much evidence that the pubs where people live have more people going. What it comes down to, though, is using them. If you like having a local pub, you've got to use it. There's no point in signing a petition to keep it open when it's going. If you do not use your local pub, it will close. So, you know, go and do that. Cheers.